Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, traders, investors, and crypto enthusiasts. Welcome to today's event. This is Jim Simmons with Crypto Street Academy, and got some exciting things to show you, some new things to show you actually as well, which is always good. And so we're going to be looking at how to create passive income. It's something that I think everyone is ultimately looking for. Traditionally, to create passive income, you would have to have quite a bit of money, right? If we look at other passive income opportunities, usually there's a fair amount of investment required. But in this realm, there are some opportunities that don't require a ton of capital, and the cost of entry is relatively low. And so there's a great opportunity for everyday people like you and I to get involved and see what this is all about. So let's go ahead and get started and dive in. Of course, before we get too far, we do need to post our disclaimer. We have no interest in the financial interest in the investments. We are not your broker, advisor. Our products and services are for educational purposes. Please understand the risks involved before you put any money on the line, and understand that it is risk capital. Okay, so we'll give you a second to take a look at that, and then we will continue on. Everybody good here? Got what you need? 3, 2, all right, let's go. So I wonder if any of this sounds like you. You feel trapped in your 9 to 5. Maybe you have some experience in the crypto world, but you've been burned. Maybe you don't have any experience. You don't know where to get started. Maybe you're just tired of seeing other people seem to have it all together, and meanwhile you're struggling, right? So we've all been there. We know what it's like. So we're going to end the hamster wheel, and we're going to give you an opportunity and show you what works for us, what works for our investors, what works for our community. We're going to show you the power behind crypto and DeFi and talk about what that is. We're going to look at how we've challenged the status quo to change our financial trajectory, and how crypto compares to other traditional models, real estate, traditional finance. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. We're going to challenge you to beat these numbers. 11.5% monthly. That's every month, by the way. 3 to 5% weekly, week after week after week, and 1% daily, every day, over months. Not a handful of days, not I made 1% this day and then lost 5% the next. None of that here. I'm going to challenge you. Those of you who are in here, how many of you are trading the markets? How many of you are active trading? Yeah, that we will be sending out a recording. We are recording this. How many of you are active traders, trading futures, Forex, trading stocks? And maybe you're even trading crypto, right? How many of you are trading? Give me a yes in the chat box if you're trading the markets, and just let me know what you're trading if you are trading. And how many of you have been involved in crypto? Feel free to chime in on that as well. All right. New to this, never done it. Cool, welcome. How many of you, this is your first webinar with Crypto Street or Neuro Street or any of our companies? Yeah, we got some futures traders, options traders. Okay. So the point is with trading, when we look at trading as an example, if you can make 1% average daily, plain and simple, you're killing it, because that's 22% monthly based on an average of 22 trading days. All right. Oh, the chat is set to hosts and panelists only. That's why you can't see the other chats. Yeah, they keep it that way just to eliminate some of the noise. So up to, if there's 22 days in a month, that's 22%. If you could average 1% daily, I would say, most traders are like, okay, if I could make 1% daily, if that's my max gain for the day and my max loss is 1%, even if you're hitting 60, percent of the days, you're still barely cutting it. And what we see in trading is that this is more the norm. You get 3 out of 5 days if you're profitable, which is another story. then you're making 3%, but losing 2%, so you're net 1% for the week. That's kind of a more of a normal sort of situation, right? So, yeah, I hear you, Mike. Yeah. Unfortunate as it is, right? So the reality is, if you were trading with these numbers, you'd be killing it. We have investments that are paying 1% daily on average. We're going to show you those. And so it is possible. And the reality is with this, the beauty of it is that in trading, you have screen time, right? Most traders are trading 1 to 3 hours a day. Most traders come up empty-handed at best. So we're looking at changing that. What if you didn't have to put in any screen time, but you were able to actually bring in some returns? Well, this is completely the opposite of what most traders do, is that they spend a lot of time and don't make the money. So we're looking to reverse that here. We're going to show you how that we do that. So there's no screen time here. This is passive income. Put the money in, leave it there, let it grow. Okay. So before we get too far, we need to look at what your number is. Okay. So we're just going to give you an example here. And I'm going to kind of use traditional finance here as a scapegoat for this example. So we're going to look at the traditional retirement funds calculator. Okay, we're going to look at retirement savings and what do you need to retire and so on. So let's say someone wants to retire at the age of 65. Okay, it's kind of the standard age, and they want to have 20 years worth of, expenses to live on and so on. Monthly expenses at the start of retirement, we're just going to put it at $5,000. Middle of the road, nothing too extravagant, nothing too small. Inflation, we're going to leave it high, because inflation's high right now. Maybe it's 3% now, but I don't know about that. So we're going to leave it at 6%. Projected yield on retirement savings, we're going to say 8% per year, which is kind of a standard. It's, again, middle of the road, nothing too risky. Obviously, when you're retired, you're not leaving your money at high risk. And we're going to put 20% tax rate. Okay. Current age, we're going to say this individual's 40. So this individual would need $1.25 million to retire and to have $5,000 a month coming in. So let's take a look at how they could look to get there with traditional finance. Most traditional finance is going to pay anywhere from 8% per year, maybe more. We're going to be generous and we're going to say 10% per year. And we're going to put an initial investment of $5,000. So what is the secret to having enough money, to building retirement? There's a couple secrets. One is compounding gains or interest, right? And the other is continually adding to the fund. So if it's continually adding, if you have 5,000 coming in, most investors try to put away, 5%. Aggressive investors, maybe 10%. Well, at a 5% addition monthly, that puts you at $250 a month. Okay, because it's just 5,000 times 5%. And we'll even do that here. $250 a month. So the reality is, if they started investing and nothing ever happened in their life, everything went great, and they were able to continually add 5%, they would not get there at 65. They would get there at age 77. Well, that's a bummer. Well, what if it was they were putting 10% away? 71. Getting a little bit closer. What if it was 15%? Okay, now we're getting closer. So they would have to add $750 a month. Now, this is assuming they didn't have much to start with. Maybe they got a late start. Let's back this up here. Go back to 250, and let's say, okay, you're 25. Well, congrats. If you start when you're 25, you can get there. If you start when you're 30, it takes a little longer, but you're still in the realm. Okay, so you can see that. No, I'm not, I don't have anything against the 401s and the IRAs. All of it is great, and they all have their place. But what we're going to look at is the alternatives and a sort of a bonus to what you're already doing, because it's not going to replace what you're doing, but it could add on to what you're currently doing. And we can see that, somebody who's 40 would need to add quite a bit to be able to retire. Okay. So let's take a look at the same scenario. We're going to use these same numbers, but we're going to look at what could be done in the crypto world. Okay. So we're going to take the same initial living expenses, same investment, but this time we're going to say they're not going to add anything. Nothing. Just put the money in, leave it, don't touch it. We're going to first look at how long it would take to replace income. This is on a basis of 20% tax rate, same tax rate, and a projected yield of 2.05% per week, which is actually pretty modest considering what we've looked at already. We looked at 1% daily. And in fact, let's do that. 1% daily. You would have enough at 1% daily, assuming you were able to continue at that pace. You'd have enough to replace your income in 6 months. Okay, well, maybe you're not doing the 1% daily. Maybe you're doing 3% a week. Okay, 19 months. 2.05 is where we had it. 31 months. Maybe you're investing in the project that pays 11.5 per month, 23 months. But we can see that you're replacing your income in a very, very short amount of time. In less than a couple of years, in some cases, you'd be able to replace your income. Now, let me tell you what that's done for some of our community, where we've had some of our participants who have been able to have a spouse quit their job, go down to one income. Some were able to travel more. Some just had some extra money coming in, be able to pay off different things or add to savings or add to other investment vehicles. But I think parking 1 month's expenses in an account for 2 years and seeing it get to the point where it's replacing that income is a pretty nice agenda, right? Pretty nice opportunity. So let's leave it here. I'm going to go back to the 2.05 per week, because that's really what I want to focus on here. 31 months, modest, right? And we're going to use the same example, 65, 85, 5,000, inflation 6%, projected yield, we're going to leave that at 8. Yeah, 20%. Same exact as this one, right? Same numbers. Same age, 40, still needs 1.24 million. But in this case, we're going to throw 5,000 into a account, into a project that's going to pay 11.5 per month on average. Sorry, let's leave this. No additions, none. Not adding anything to the account. And we're going to put this at 11.5 per month. Okay. So, whereas before, this person had to put additional money in every month for 37 years. And on the crypto world, they didn't add anything. And in 51 months, they would have enough to retire. Just by adding the funds there and leaving it, not touching it, enough to retire. Once that money is available for the retirement, they just put it in a safer investment, something that's lower risk, something that's more, cash-based, not market-based, right? So we can see that there's a significant advantage. What if it was 2.05 per week? Let's do that. About 63 months, a little bit longer. So in about 5 years, sure beats 37. And it also beats having to continually add money. Now, again, there's a place for both. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying do one and don't do the other. I can't give you that advice anyway. But all I'm here to tell you is that if you challenge the status quo, there are some serious opportunities out there to save money for retirement, to replace your income, and so on. What about if it was 1% per day? 1% per day. 19 months. 19 months. Good Lord. All right, let's go back to 205. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving forward on our exercises here. So in this example, we saw how much was needed and what type of yield would be needed to hit these goals. And you'd probably think, well, yeah, that all sounds good, but I'm not so sure I believe that's even possible. All right. Rightfully so. Well, here's one of our projects examples that we're going to use, and we're going to talk about what they are and give you some more insight here. But I just want to give you the numbers first. A total of 530% in 9 months. Here's some examples of actual fund performance on these programs here. This one, annual return was 800%. Best day 5%, worst day 4%. This was over the course of 12 months. You can see the performance of this project. Here's some actual screenshots from some of our participants. Okay. So this is showing 40% growth in about 4 months. Okay, there's one of them. We'll just show you a few examples of screenshots. Something that we could talk about, Roderick. Potentially, in some of them there is, yeah. So, yeah, we could talk more about that. Here's an example: real ROI, 4 months, 30%. These are from our participants. It'd be about 10 weeks on this one. Here you can see they started. Really, it was February 8th, I guess, and this was as of April 15th. So pretty good growth there. Here's another one, 33%, about 4 months. Started end of January. This is going till April, so about 3 months, 4 months, I guess. Let's take a look at another one of our projects. So there's sort of multiple options with this one. We're going to look at some examples here. I didn't realize this was set to cascade in, so I'm just going to pull it all up. So here we go. So here's an example. This is a project that has multiple options to participate in. And so this is kind of a unique one for us, but all I can say is this: 2,500, and you get minimum. Now, you could certainly do more than that, but 1% daily interest for 1 year. Now, this program, they have different projects that they're a part of, and they have different time limits and opportunities, and they're always finding more opportunities. Okay, so currently they have 2 available for new incoming participants, but 1% daily for a year. Amazing. And so this is an example. This is a new screenshot from the account. 4 days worth, and made 738 off of 24,000. Monthly interest rate 25. So I guess they're doing 1% per business day. Pretty solid. Here's another one. This is their second option, which is where we came up with the 11.5. That is a locked-in rate that they're paying out monthly. That's 11.5 monthly, not annually, monthly. So each month they pay 11.5%. Minimum on that one is 5,000. Okay, so a couple different options there. You could do one or both, whatever you want to do. They are always producing more new options that are coming through, that are giving additional opportunities to new investors or existing investors. Really incredible. Here's some screenshots. So you can see the monthly returns over the course of a time frame. I don't know what happened there, but 11.5 per month. Okay, so this must have been half a month or something. I don't know. But current balance, okay. Accrued interest, realized interest. So this is going to be for the current cycle, and then this is going to be for sort of that time to date, which would realistically be year to date because they started in February. And 11.5, you can see the locked in interest rate monthly 7 months ago. So off of the initial balance of 22,000, they made 15. Pretty solid for 7 months. Pretty hard to beat those numbers, right? Here's another screenshot from a different account. Another one of our participants showing an account. Balance 12,000. Looks like it started at 9,800. They made 3,000. 11.5%. Same number. So it doesn't matter how much you put in. It's however much you want to put into the option, into the opportunity. So there you go. So these are real screenshots that just show what's really happening. So let's look at, what about real estate? Usually we've got some real estate investors, and in every presentation, real estate's a great investment. It's a great opportunity. Again, I'm not saying do this instead. We're just going to compare apples to oranges. So here's an example of a condo purchase. Let's say you buy a rental property, $250. You put down 20% at least because it's an investment property. And, most properties need some type of rehab and updates. Maybe you just update the flooring and you throw some paint on the walls, update a couple of the fixtures, and maybe have somebody come through and check out all the appliances and AC and heater and furnace and all that, right? Maybe you get a couple things done. So average amount's about 10,000 on something like that. So that puts you at a total upfront investment of about 60,000. Okay. Monthly rent, we're just going to kind of put it, again, middle of the road, decent market, about 2,200. Of course, you've got vacancy, taxes, insurance, homeowners association, so on. So that's going to run you about 1,000 monthly in cost. So you've got 1,200 coming in revenue. But of course, there's the mortgage because you only put 20% down. So you finance the 80%. And this is assuming you have a really great relationship with a banker and they give you 6% on a mortgage, which is awfully kind of them considering rates. Good luck with that. But 6% rates have come up, right? So that would put you at $1,199 monthly based on 200,000 at 6%. And so really you're at a wash. It's not net cash flow, but your tenants are paying the mortgage. So it's not all a loss. You're gaining equity in the property. Property values are going up. Currently they're not going up as much as they did in 2020, but they're still going up, and your mortgage is getting paid down by your tenant. So it's a win. It's definitely a win. But let's flip the script. Let's say real estate investor puts the money into DeFi and the crypto passive income projects that we're looking at. And we're just going to use an example where we're looking at the same 60,000 at a weekly interest of 3%. It's kind of somewhere in between the project that pays 1% daily and a project that pays 11.5 monthly, and so on. You get the idea. Weekly interest would be about 3%, kind of middle of the road there. That means this investor would bring in $1,800 a week based on the 60,000. Now that's if they didn't touch any of the money, like they didn't add any of it back into the fund. They just took the money and took it out. 3% per week. It's $1,800 a week. Well, what about compounding? First off, what about costs? Yeah, there are none. What about compounding? What if you were to add the money back into the account and just leave it in there? Well, at 3%, if you added 60,000, that would get you total interest earned of roughly 219,000. It's a net APY of roughly 365%. And there's the calculations. So the real estate investment is not a bad investment. There's opportunities for everything here. But the point is, when you compare the two, it's awfully hard to, it's hard to compete with this, right? So it becomes a bit of a no-brainer. There's some opportunity to add some funds into this realm, right? So how does it work? How do you get involved? What's involved? What does it look like? The first thing is learn the landscape. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. We're not going to overcomplicate it. Really, half of it is going to involve understanding exchanges, banks, wire transfers, knowing how to keep your funds safe, the KYC stuff, security, two-factor authentications, all of that. We teach you all of that. Hard versus cold storage, where to keep your money, how to keep your money safe, all of that. We teach you all that. And then terminology and jargon, things that you need to know about all the, again, exchanges and all that stuff. The other 50% is going to be getting alpha and DeFi. And that's really what we're looking at here today. That is the passive income projects And that's really where we spend our time and resources getting involved in. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover here today. So first off, what is alpha? Alpha is what all savvy investors want. It's getting the above average returns. It's getting in before the herd. It's getting to the opportunity first. It's, I don't know, finding out about GameStop or something, AMC before everybody else. I don't know. It's terrible examples, but it's getting into above average returns and really great opportunities for investment. That's what everybody wants. And when we talk about DeFi, really what we mean by DeFi is decentralized finance. It's anything that is outside of the traditional finance realm. And most of that is going to line up in the crypto world because it's not regulated. It's not yet. But DeFi is its own sector inside the crypto industry. So you have two approaches here to crypto. You could do active income approach, which would be buying and selling coins, maybe your spot trading, maybe leverage and margin, or your long-term holding, retail indicators, bots, ICOs. It's more of the active side of things because you have to do your research. You have to be actively involved in what's happening. And then you have the decentralized finance, which is the passive income side, which is where you look at, lending crypto for yield, staking crypto, nodes as a service, DeFi as a service, mining, profit sharing, yield farming. But everything that we look to do for the most part is going to be involved in the passive income, because the idea is for it to be passive income, we don't want to have to be hands-on with it. We want to be able to park the money and leave it there. And so that's our entire focus. When we look at what some of the returns are, this is an example of one of our participants who's gotten involved. It's actually, I'll just tell you, it's our founder's portfolio in this world and in crypto. But you could see, some of the dates here and the funds, and just a couple things that I like to point out is if we look at the original investment of 169 and the current balance of 264, just looking at that, from the course of January of 22 until now, about 18 months, if that was the only end of the story, it would still be pretty impressive, right? And then we look at the fact that he actually took 127 out and still has that much left over, is extremely impressive. So you can see the total profit there, and it averages it out monthly, but really none of that matters. That's the total here. And then based on the current balance of 264, when you start factoring in some of those numbers that we looked at, right? Like, what if that 264 was at 11.5% monthly? Whoops, not by that by 100. Let's go real numbers. 30,000 a month in passive income. Okay, well, what if it's not that? What if it's 264 times, 205 weekly? And that's 5,400 a week. So it's 22,000 a month in passive income. Obviously this didn't happen overnight, and there's some diversification here in a number of different projects, but you can see based on the original investment, current balance, and withdrawals, it's happening. It's really working, right? There's the example. The other side of this is that you want to know that if we're going to present anything to our community, you would expect that those who are involved in the company are also participating in the projects, and we are. Not only that, but it's not chump change. This isn't like, oh yeah, we threw $1,000 into this project and oh, it's really great, you should totally do it. We're in the projects too. So we wouldn't expect anybody to do anything that we're not willing to do ourselves. This isn't we've reviewed these different projects and we give this one an A-, and this one gets a B+, and this one's a C. We're not sure about this one. What does that even mean, right? We're not here to give a grade to a project. Either it's a yes or it's a no. Either we're in the project or we're not. And we're not bringing anything forward that we're not involved in. because that would not be fair to our participants, right? So that's one of the factors. The other things that you're looking at here is it always sounds too good to be true because it's different. It's outside of the realm. It's challenging the status quo. It's completely different than anything you've seen before, odds are. And so you're asking, what about rug pulls? We had somebody mention that. What about, are you using your own money, which we just saw? Can we show you how? Absolutely. Can you learn step by step? Yes, of course. What if you've been burned before? I get it. I totally get it. But again, this is why we're putting our own money in it first. It's not hard. Anybody can do it. We have people from all walks of life that get involved in this. So what about the risks? And we'll look at those sort of things. The reality is the crypto industry is still a bit of the Wild West. So when it comes to getting involved in this space, you really do need to get involved with a team that has your back, with a team that has done the research, vetted the companies, put their own money in first, and can teach you step by step. Not only that, where it's not just, hey, here's some education, now go figure it out. Like, that's not what this is. This is, here's the education. We've done all the hard work. We've vetted all the companies. We're involved in them too. Here's exactly how you get involved. And if you still need help beyond that, we'll actually jump in with you and help you do it. Because we believe that it shouldn't just be, here's some education, go figure it out. We believe that there should be service. And so when we created this opportunity, this program, company, everything, we wanted it to be all inclusive, where you get everything you need. And you've got the extra help and you've got the extra resources. So when we do our vetting of these companies, by the way, we actually meet with them. This is where we actually get together with the company. We talk to the executives or directors of the company because we want to vet them and make sure that they're the real deal. Again, crypto is still a bit of the Wild West. So we want to make sure that what we're doing with our own money is a valid opportunity. And the beauty of it is when you've got, thousands in your community, the companies are willing to meet with you. And we can do that extra work for our community, which is a beautiful thing. So at this point, you have a choice to make. Do you want to continue on the path that you're going? And maybe everything's fine. Maybe everything's great. But there's an opportunity here to add to what you're doing. Maybe you're struggling and you're like looking at the time clock going, I've got X amount of time to get money together for retirement. And it's not looking so promising. Now, I'm not telling you to throw everything to the wind and gamble here, but I am telling you that there's some serious opportunity here. So the choice is, do you figure it out on your own? Don't do that. Crypto is not something you want to go it alone. You definitely need a team on your side because there are some risks involved. There's some ways that you can get burned if you're not careful. And that's why this exists in the first place, is so that we can come together as a community and go through it together, and you have a team of professionals on your side. Okay, so we're going to hear from a couple of our participants just so that you have an additional example or two of those who have gotten involved and what their experience has been like. So here we go.
Well, I was very impressed. You have tons of really detailed information that gives you very much orientation to a space that is hard to understand, really.
Sure. Have you been happy with the returns so far in the projects and the companies that you've been investing in, as a result of us introducing them to you?
Oh, yeah, I'm very happy. I'll admit I was skeptical when I first saw them, so I had to do my own research, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
But I did get involved in the projects, and I'm very happy that I did.
There you go. I think I got a couple more in.
Crypto Street is so positive for me because of all the research you guys do and the team you guys have. I was a skeptic at the beginning,
Sure.
Like anybody else would be, and putting their money into some new project. And I dipped my toe a little bit and tried it. And then I was really, really, really impressed with the returns that I was getting.
There you go. I think we got one more.
I would definitely recommend CSA to anyone who's interested in passive income. You're not going to regret it. I was scared and I was sitting on it for like a month before I decided to go in.
Sure.
And I'm glad I did, because now that I'm in, I see the money coming in.
Yeah. So, really they all say the same thing. Like, I was skeptic, I was not sure about it, and it's been great. And so it's perfectly normal to be a little bit skeptical about everything. Totally understandable. So, how do you get access to this? How do you get involved? How do you start participating in these projects? How does this all work? So, what we've done, let me just throw this all on the screen. So, we've got the getting started, which is going to be the landscape of crypto, everything you need to know about crypto exchanges and all of that stuff. How the coins work, what it is, how does it work. Then you'll go into, if you want to, there's trading alpha program, which is going to be teaching the trading side of trading crypto. DeFi and passive income alpha, which is where we teach about the process of the DeFi world, how to vet projects, what the different opportunities are. There's some education on that, but where most of our participants gain the most value is from the actual access to the alpha coaches and the vetting of the different projects that we're involved in. So we have an entire community that is involved in what we're doing, in private chat rooms for all the participants with updates and alerts and all that kind of stuff on, what's happening and anything that might be, new updates or new projects that come in. Obviously, we announce those. Private workshops. As we have new projects that we bring in, what we do is after we're completely done with the vetting process, we'll bring it to our community and we'll highlight everything that we found out about the company, what it is, how it works. We'll show them the back end so that anybody who decides that they want to participate in these projects know what they're doing exactly. And so, really that's the process. It's entirely up to you in terms of what you want to participate or don't. And Crypto Street has no fiduciary responsibility. So in other words, we don't touch the funds. It's entirely your money. You can do with it as you please. We're here for the educational side of things. And that's really what we're up to. So so we don't make anything on the back ends, any of that kind of thing. This is one-time tuition. And it's $9.95. The retail on this is $59.95. We decided to bring that down, give a couple promos for the summer. So this particular promo is going to be good until the 24th. So you've got till Thursday. There's the link here. What you want to do is, if you're interested in participating with us and getting involved, there's the link. Let me copy it for you. Okay, there's the link, and you're going to want to use this coupon code. Okay, whoops. What did I do? I messed that up. Okay, and then just go ahead and use that coupon code. So that's going to get you access to everything. Let me go back here. Sorry about that. There we go. So there's the link. There's the code. I'm going to just run a quick poll and let my team, this will help my team know how many new participants we've got coming in so that we can support you and help you out with any questions that you may have. So let me know where you stand on that. Just go ahead and answer the poll as we're at it. And then we'll take some time to answer questions, go over some more details. One of the things, that we do want to cover is really, sort of the risk side of things and what we do on our end to make sure that we're at least, managing the risk and being involved in smart risk, right? So there's a number of things. One is that we teach, obviously, diversification. We want to participate in as many projects as we can. That way we're spreading the risk, but also, obviously, we're only going to bring on the very best projects that we find to be a good fit for us and for our community, and that we've met with them and we've vetted them and they've passed all of that process. So we look at that obviously as a huge factor. We're not going to just bring on any project just for the sake of it. And then the other side of it is going to be, the placement of funds, how we manage the funds and make sure that we don't leave it at risk out in, where hackers or something can get to it and that sort of thing. So we teach all of that as well. The other thing that we look to do is once we have gotten to 2x or 3x in the accounts, then we look to pull out the initial capital. And we'll teach, the process around that. You can kind of come up with your own plan as to what works there. But we pull the initial funds off the table. That way, any risk is only off of what we've already gained on the account. So at that point, we're kind of playing on house money, if you will. So those are a number of factors, just common questions that I get that I like to answer kind of preemptively. That's a big one. As far as, the process and how it works and getting your funds into the projects and all that, we've got how-to videos on that are really straightforward and will help you understand exactly what you need to do to be able to get your funds into the project. We teach you all that. And, we can even help you with it if you need as well. So, trading alerts, we don't have trading alerts on the crypto side currently. We had done that for a while for, excuse me, for those who were wanting to swing trade. And we just saw that most of our participants were getting involved in the passive income side. They weren't really swing trading crypto. So we just decided to put our efforts into, finding projects and things like that. So currently no trade alerts, but if you are interested in learning trading, there's a lot of education there. It's really great. So how many projects are open? What are the details in joining? How long is the money locked? Yeah, great question. So currently we have 2 projects, if you will, and more coming. So there's 2 active projects that you're able to get involved in, right? So like you can actually join 2 projects. One of them has a minimum of only $100. That was the first one we looked at. Only $100 minimum to start, and those funds are locked. That particular project is it's an ICO. You're involved in raising capital for a startup. They're already up and running, obviously, but they're raising capital. And so those funds would be locked in that particular project. The gains, however, you can take gains out if you want to. You're welcome to do that. So if that's something that's a factor for you, you can certainly do that. But that project is locked until they complete the cap raise. Okay. The other project, one of them is locked until November. And then at that point, they'll start new projects. So that would be November. And then the gains just go back into that one. Okay. And then the second one, with this project, so this is all project 2, but there's sort of multiple legs, of different projects you can participate in within the project. So it's like a, project within a project kind of thing. So one of them is November. That's the one that pays 11.5. And then there's another one that actually just started that you can get involved in. They do have a max amount that they can add into the fund, but that one pays 1% daily. And that one is locked for 1 year. Okay. So you're committing to it for 1 year, but with returns like that, it's pretty hard to want to take the money out. So, all right. So let's go through some of the questions here. Passive income, I just invest, and you invest to provide returns. So we actually don't do any of the investing, but we show you what the opportunities are that you can choose to participate in. But yes, it is 100%. It's passive. You put the money in, and that's really about it. There's not much involved on your end. In vetting of the projects, let me read through this real quick. You know what they're doing? Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. So good question. So James is asking, in the vetting of projects, are you able to tell what they're doing, if the revenue is real, or is it all kept secret? Had accounts and accounts grow, but the returns were on paper, not real. Always easy to get in, but hard to get out. Yeah, absolutely. Totally understand that. In our vetting, we do meet with the companies to find out where the revenue is coming from and can they demonstrate that. We really, we do our best to make sure that we're participating in projects that are the best of the best, that they're able to demonstrate what they're doing and how they're doing it. There's no guarantees in any of this, of course, but yeah, we do make that a major factor. We've had projects that had to put things on hold for a while, and it has happened, but everything that we're involved in now is going fine. The other ones are fine too. They just hit bumps in the road, and there's certain things that we just we can't always know exactly what's going to happen on those, but yeah, so far so good. I mean, we haven't had anything that was like terrible in that regard. Invest, bright assured, passive income. Yeah, I mean, you get what we get on the projects. Yeah, so if you put in the 5,000, we give you a number of different opportunities that you can decide to participate in. Regardless of how much you put in, everybody gets the same opportunities, which is as far as, you know, if you meet the minimums of that project, obviously, then everybody, no matter how much you put in, gets the same returns from what we've seen. So explain locked. So locked just means that the funds that you've added in are not available for withdrawal. So that would be like a CD, certificate of deposit, or something like that, where the funds are expected to be held in the account for X amount of time frame. The only difference is in some of these, you can't get the funds out at all. Like, it's not like you pay a penalty, and, some of them have penalties. Some of them, they just say, no, you committed to this for X amount of time. So it's good to be aware of those things ahead of time, obviously, to where you know exactly what's happening before you get involved. And of course, if you have questions about the projects, you're always welcome to reach out to the team, and we'll help you. These projects that pay out for a while and then gone. No, we haven't seen that. Yeah, we haven't seen that. Some of them have expirations, but then there's other projects you can participate in, and obviously you get your money out. Yeah, James. Yeah, that's fine. No worries. You can do that. Yeah, I can set that up for you. All good. What is the max amount you can put in? I don't know. I don't know. Let me find out. I can find out on that. Send me an email. I'm going to type my email in here to you. So there's my email. Roderick, knock on wood, so far 0. Hopefully that will continue to remain to be the case, but no, like I say, we can't guarantee anything, unfortunately, but so far so good. Yeah, Rod, I'm gonna send you an email address to send. I'm gonna have you email Ashley. She would be your best point of contact in all of that. She is really a pro when it comes to anything crypto related. She's awesome, so she can help you. Yeah. These are open available. Yeah, there's sort of 2 projects, but one of them has 2 different opportunities within that project. So 3. Yeah, 3 opportunities. I don't know of any IRAs or Roths or anything like that, or transfers, any, sort of qualifying transfers. Nothing that I know of currently. It would be all cash basis. So that's a factor. Yeah, good questions. What else? It's good questions. How long have the opportunities been working? The one is brand new. It's from the existing project. So that, like I say, that project has sort of 2 different opportunities. The one is brand new, just started within like the last week or 2. And the other one, it's been going all year. Yeah, it's been all year. So, and then the other project, the first one that we looked at, that one has been going, it's going on almost 2 years now, about 1.5 years, 2 years, something like that. So it's been going for a while. Yeah, Fred, send me an email. Send me an email. I don't know of anything unless you have an existing coupon or anything like that. It's pretty low pricing. This is about as low as we've seen at $9.95. Pretty hard to beat that pricing. It used to be, like I say, the standard pricing on this is $59.95. So yeah, it's just Jim at nstradingacademy.com. There it is. So yeah, 995, good through Thursday. So there you have it. Any last questions? And then we will wrap it up here. I think we're good to go. Otherwise, we've pretty much answered everything else. My email's there. So if you do have additional questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to me and I'll do my best to answer your question, or I will refer you to somebody who has the answer if I don't. So we'll make sure you get taken care of. We've got alpha coaches. We've got those who have, they met with the companies and things like that. Obviously, they're going to know more than I do. So. Good deal. Well, I think we are all set. Thanks so much for, thanks, James. I know it's probably an oddball time for you, but thanks everybody for tuning in. If we can help with anything else, of course, reach out anytime. And James, enjoy your tomorrow and let me know how it goes. So very cool. Everybody have a fantastic rest of the week. We'll catch you soon. If you need anything, reach out anytime. Otherwise, there's the links that you need. I'll go ahead and paste them in here one more time, and then we'll call it a day. There we go. And there's the coupon code. So that'll get you access in it to win it. So perfect. Cheers, everybody. Thanks so much. We will catch you on the next one. And of course, if you need anything, reach out anytime. Take care, everybody. Cheers.